In a world that never seems to slow down, where chaos often feels like the norm, how much of your inner peace is shaped by what's happening around you? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That simple yet profound truth is at the heart of Stoicism, a philosophy that has stood the test of time for its ability to help us navigate life's storms with resilience and clarity. Today, we're diving into the core principles of Stoic wisdom, resilience, detachment, and presence, and exploring 50 practical strategies to help you master your mind and emotions. Whether you're facing a personal challenge, a professional setback, or simply trying to find more calm in your day-to-day life, these timeless teachings offer a roadmap to reclaiming control over how you respond to the world around you. So, let's begin this journey together and discover how the wisdom of the Stoics can transform the way you think, feel, and live. Not everything in life is within our power, but our response always is. This idea, known as the Dichotomy of Control, is one of the foundational principles of Stoic philosophy. It's a tool that helps us reduce anxiety and reclaim mental clarity by focusing our energy only on what we can actually influence. The ancient Stoic teacher Epictetus put it simply, "Some things are within our power while others are not." Think about it. You can't control the weather, the actions of others, or even the traffic on your commute, but you can control how you react to these situations. For instance, when you're stuck in a traffic jam, you have a choice. You can simmer in frustration, cursing every red light, or you can choose to accept the delay and use the time to listen to a podcast, make a phone call, or simply breathe and reflect. The key is recognizing where your power lies and letting go of what's beyond it. Take a moment to think about a recent situation where you felt overwhelmed or out of control. What could you have focused on instead? Embracing this mindset doesn't just lighten the mental load, it empowers you to navigate life with a sense of calm and purpose. Or what if you prepared for the worst, not out of fear, but to appreciate the present? This is the essence of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, a powerful Stoic practice designed to strengthen your resilience and deepen your gratitude. By intentionally imagining worst-case scenarios, you're not indulging in pessimism. You're training your mind to face life's uncertainties with courage and clarity. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote extensively about this idea, urging us to confront adversity head-on so we're never caught off guard. He believed that by mentally rehearsing life's challenges, we not only reduce their emotional impact but also develop a deeper appreciation for what we already have. For example, imagine losing your job. How would you respond? Would you panic, or would you see it as an opportunity to reassess your path and explore new possibilities? By picturing this scenario, you're not inviting it to happen. You're equipping yourself to handle it with composure if it ever does. This practice shifts your perspective, helping you recognize the stability and abundance in your life right now. Take a moment to think about something you often take for granted: your health, your relationships, or even the roof over your head. How might your outlook change if you imagined these things were gone, even briefly? Negative visualization isn't about dwelling on the worst, it's about preparing for it so you can live more fully in the present. Writing down your thoughts can be a mirror to your soul, offering a rare moment of clarity in the noise of daily life. For the Stoics, journaling wasn't just a habit, it was a cornerstone of self-mastery and emotional regulation. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic emperors, kept a personal journal that later became the timeless work Meditations. In it, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." His reflections weren't just philosophical musings. They were practical tools for navigating the complexities of leadership, loss, and human emotion. By putting pen to paper, he was able to untangle his thoughts, process his feelings, and align his actions with his values. Modern psychology supports this practice, showing that journaling can reduce stress, improve focus, and even boost problem-solving skills. So, how can you start? Try answering prompts like, what challenges did I face today and how did I respond? Or what am I grateful for and why? These questions don't just help you process the day's events, they also give you a clearer picture of your progress in applying Stoic principles. Over time, this practice becomes a powerful feedback loop, helping you refine your mindset and strengthen your emotional resilience. Journaling isn't about perfection, it's about honesty. It's a space where you can confront your thoughts, learn from your experiences, and move forward with greater purpose. Change is the only constant in life, and accepting it brings peace. This is a truth the Stoics understood deeply, and it's a principle that can transform how we approach the ups and downs of our lives. The Stoic reminder that everything is transient, whether it's our possessions, our circumstances, or even our relationships, helps us loosen our grip on what we can't control. Marcus Aurelius put it this way: everything is ephemeral, both what remembers and what is remembered. Think about that for a moment. Even the most cherished moments, the things we hold onto so tightly, are fleeting by nature. When we internalize this truth, it doesn't diminish the value of what we have. Instead, it shifts our focus to appreciating the present rather than clinging to the past or fearing the future. For instance, consider the loss of a job or the end of a relationship. These are painful experiences, but when we view them through the lens of impermanence, we can see them as part of a larger, ever-changing journey. How might your perspective change if you saw these moments not as permanent setbacks, but as opportunities for growth and renewal? Embracing impermanence doesn't mean becoming indifferent. It means cultivating a mindset that can adapt, evolve, and find peace even in the face of life's inevitable changes. Gratitude transforms what we have into enough. This simple yet profound idea is at the heart of a life well lived according to the Stoics. While it's easy to focus on what's missing, whether it's a better job, more money, or a perfect relationship, the practice of gratitude shifts our attention to the abundance already present in our lives. Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This isn't just about feeling thankful, it's about training your mind to see the value in what surrounds you, even in the smallest moments. When you cultivate gratitude, you're not denying life's challenges, you're choosing to anchor yourself in what's good and meaningful despite them. Start with a simple daily exercise. Before you go to bed, take a moment to list 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as grand as a supportive family, or as simple as a warm cup of coffee in the morning. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your day, reducing feelings of envy or discontent. Gratitude doesn't just make life feel richer, it helps you realize that you already have enough to live fully and joyfully. So, what 3 things would you write down today? We control our actions, but not their outcomes. This simple yet profound truth lies at the core of Stoic philosophy and serves as a guiding principle for reducing anxiety and building resilience. The Stoics knew that while we can pour our energy into our efforts, the results are often beyond our control. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, put it this way: "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult." In other words, our focus should be on the quality of our effort and the purity of our intentions, not on the unpredictable outcomes that follow. Take preparing for a job interview, for instance. You can research the company, practice your responses, and present yourself confidently, but whether you get the job isn't up to you. By detaching from the outcome, you free yourself from the weight of expectation and allow yourself to perform authentically. This mindset doesn't just reduce stress, it also helps you bounce back more quickly if things don't go as planned. So, think about a recent situation where you invested significant effort but didn't achieve the result you hoped for. How did you handle it? Could shifting your focus to the effort itself rather than the outcome help you approach similar challenges with greater peace and confidence in the future? The present is all we truly have. It's the only moment where life unfolds, where we can act, think, and feel with full awareness. Yet, how often do we find ourselves lost in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future? The Stoics understood that dwelling on what's beyond our reach only robs us of the richness of now. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he wrote, "Do not dwell on the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." Practicing presence or mindfulness is about anchoring yourself in the here and now, allowing you to experience life more fully and reduce the mental clutter that comes from overthinking. One simple yet powerful way to cultivate this is through a mindful walk. As you step outside, focus on your senses, notice the feel of the ground beneath your feet, the sounds around you, the air against your skin. Let go of distractions and immerse yourself in the experience. This practice doesn't just ground you, it also helps you reconnect with the simplicity and beauty of the present. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, what can I notice right now? The answer might just bring you back to a place of calm and clarity. Or what if every obstacle was a chance to become stronger? This is the Stoic perspective on adversity, a mindset that transforms challenges into stepping stones for growth. The Stoics believed that hardships aren't just inevitable, they're essential for developing resilience, wisdom, and character. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic teachers, put it this way: the obstacle is the way. In other words, the very things that seem to block our path are the very tools we need to build strength and clarity. Think about a failed project or a missed opportunity. At the time, it might feel like a setback, but with a Stoic lens, it becomes a lesson. Maybe it taught you to plan better, to adapt more quickly, or to value collaboration. These are skills that stay with you long after the initial disappointment fades. The key is to shift your perspective, to see adversity not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace. When you do this, you're not just enduring life's challenges, you're using them to grow. So, take a moment to reflect. What's one difficulty you faced recently? How did it shape you, and what did you learn from it? By reframing adversity as an opportunity, you're not just surviving life, you're thriving in it. A true wisdom begins with knowing what we don't know. This is the essence of humility, a Stoic virtue that reminds us of our limitations and keeps our egos in check. Humility isn't about diminishing ourselves, it's about recognizing that we're always learners in the grand school of life. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, warned of the dangers of arrogance, saying, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This craving for more knowledge, more recognition, more control often blinds us to our own blind spots. When we approach life with humility, we open ourselves to growth, learning, and collaboration. Think about the last time someone gave you constructive criticism. Did you feel defensive, or were you able to listen and consider their perspective? Humility allows us to see feedback not as an attack, but as a gift, a chance to improve and expand our understanding. It also helps us navigate conflicts with grace, reducing the friction that comes from ego-driven battles. So, how can you practice humility today? Start by acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and that everyone, no matter their background or experience, has something to teach you. This mindset doesn't weaken you, it empowers you to grow, connect, and thrive in ways you might never have imagined. Freedom comes from self-mastery, not indulgence. This Stoic principle challenges the idea that giving in to every desire brings happiness. Instead, it suggests that true freedom lies in controlling our impulses, not being controlled by them. Epictetus, one of the most practical Stoic teachers, offered this insight: no man is free who is not master of himself. In other words, if we're constantly chasing fleeting pleasures or reacting to every temptation, we're never truly free. We're slaves to our own desires. Self-discipline, then, isn't about deprivation. It's about making intentional choices that align with our long-term goals and values. For example, imagine you're trying to improve your health. Choosing to eat a nutritious meal over junk food isn't denying yourself enjoyment, it's investing in a healthier, more vibrant future. To start building this kind of discipline, try setting small, daily goals. Whether it's waking up 10 minutes earlier, reducing screen time, or practicing mindfulness, these small steps create a foundation of self-control that grows over time. So, take a moment to reflect. What's one habit you'd like to change? Identifying it is the first step toward reclaiming your freedom and living a life guided by intention, not impulse. Less is often more when it comes to true happiness. The Stoics believed that simplicity was not just a lifestyle choice, but a pathway to inner peace. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most eloquent voices, warned of the illusions of wealth and excess, saying, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." In a world that constantly pushes us to want more possessions, more status, more distractions, this reminder is more relevant than ever. Simplicity isn't about living with nothing, it's about living with intention, focusing on what truly adds value to your life. When we strip away the unnecessary, we create space for clarity, calm, and connection. Consider decluttering your home, for example. As you let go of items you no longer need, you're not just organizing your space, you're freeing your mind from the weight of excess. This act of simplification can feel liberating, like shedding a burden you didn't even realize you were carrying. So take a moment to reflect. What are the things in your life that truly matter? What could you let go of to make room for more meaningful experiences? Embracing simplicity isn't about deprivation. It's about creating the conditions for a richer, more focused life, one that aligns with your deepest values and priorities. Resistance to reality only brings suffering. This is a truth the Stoics understood deeply, and it's one that can transform how we respond to life's curveballs. When we fight against what's already happened, we create unnecessary tension and frustration. Acceptance, on the other hand, is about meeting reality head-on without denial or struggle. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he wrote, "Everything that happens, happens as it should." This doesn't mean we have to like what's happening, only that we recognize its inevitability and choose to respond with clarity rather than resistance. Take a cancelled flight, for instance. You can rant and rave about the inconvenience, or you can accept the situation and focus on what's within your control: rebooking your ticket, finding a quiet spot to work, or even using the extra time to catch up on reading. The event itself hasn't changed, but your response to it has. Acceptance isn't about passivity, it's about reclaiming your power to choose how you engage with the world. So, think about a recent event that didn't go as planned. How did you react? Could embracing acceptance help you find peace the next time life takes an unexpected turn? By aligning yourself with reality rather than fighting against it, you open the door to a calmer, more grounded way of living. Patience is not passive, it's a form of strength. In a world that often rewards speed and immediacy, the Stoic virtue of patience stands out as a quiet but powerful tool for navigating life's uncertainties. Epictetus once said, "No great thing is created suddenly," reminding us that meaningful progress often requires time and persistence. Patience isn't about simply waiting. It's about maintaining composure and clarity, even when things don't unfold as quickly as we'd like. Think about a time when you felt frustrated by a delay, whether it was a slow-moving line, a project that took longer than expected, or a goal that seemed out of reach. In those moments, your impatience may have amplified your stress, but practicing patience could have helped you stay calm and focused. One simple yet effective exercise is to take deep breaths during delays. Instead of letting irritation take over, use the time to ground yourself and regain perspective. This small shift can reduce stress and help you approach the situation with greater resilience. So take a moment to reflect. How patient are you, and in what areas could you cultivate more of this strength? Developing patience isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about transforming how you experience them, finding peace in the process rather than rushing to the outcome. Compassion is a bridge to understanding, a principle the Stoics held close to their hearts. While Stoicism is often associated with self-discipline and emotional resilience, it's also deeply rooted in kindness and empathy toward others. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most renowned figures, put it this way: "What injures the hive injures the bee." In other words, harming others ultimately harms ourselves because we're all interconnected. Practicing compassion isn't just about being nice. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and choosing to respond with understanding rather than judgment. Think about a recent disagreement you've had, maybe with a coworker, a friend, or even a stranger. Instead of reacting with frustration or defensiveness, what if you pause to consider their perspective? When we approach conflicts with compassion, we reduce tension and create opportunities for resolution. For instance, if a colleague missed a deadline, instead of immediately criticizing, you might ask if they're facing challenges you're unaware of. This small shift can transform a potential argument into a moment of connection. So, take a moment to reflect. How do you show compassion in your daily life? Whether it's through a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply listening without judgment, these acts of empathy not only strengthen your relationships but also enrich your own sense of purpose and fulfillment. A true success lies in living with integrity. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, which places virtue above all else as the highest good. Unlike wealth, fame, or power, external markers of success that can be fleeting, virtue is something no one can take from you. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most profound voices, emphasized this when he said, "The greatest man is the one who chooses virtue with the fullest understanding." Virtue to the Stoics is about moral excellence, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It's not just about doing the right thing. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally does the right thing, even when no one is watching. For instance, consider honesty. It's one thing to tell the truth when it's easy, but what about when it might cost you something? Choosing honesty in those moments is a true test of virtue. So, how can you start focusing on this in your own life? Begin by aligning your actions with your values. Take a moment to reflect on what principles matter most to you: kindness, fairness, humility, or something else, and ask yourself whether your daily choices reflect them. This practice isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about building a life where your actions and your character are in harmony. When you prioritize virtue, you're not chasing external validation. You're cultivating an inner strength that brings lasting fulfillment and peace. Peace of mind comes from within, not without. This is the core of equanimity, a Stoic goal that teaches us to remain calm and composed, no matter what life throws our way. The Stoics believed that emotional turbulence arises when we allow external events to dictate our inner state. Epictetus put it simply: man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. In other words, it's not the events themselves that upset us, but how we interpret and react to them. Equanimity doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means cultivating a steady, balanced mindset that allows you to navigate challenges with clarity and grace. Take criticism, for example. It's natural to feel defensive or hurt when someone points out your flaws, but with equanimity, you can approach feedback as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, is there truth in what's being said? Even if the delivery is harsh, the feedback itself might hold valuable insights. This shift in perspective can transform a potentially upsetting moment into a chance for self-improvement. So, think about how you handle situations that test your patience or composure. How might equanimity help you respond with greater calm and purpose? By practicing this Stoic virtue, you're not just mastering your emotions, you're building a foundation for lasting peace and resilience. Solitude is the gateway to self-discovery. In a world that constantly pulls us in 100 directions, taking time to be alone with our thoughts can feel like a luxury. But for the Stoics, it was a necessity, a practice that fosters clarity, emotional resilience, and a deeper understanding of oneself. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most insightful philosophers, once wrote, "The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear." This isn't just about physical silence, it's about creating mental space to reflect, process, and grow. Solitude allows us to step back from the noise of daily life and reconnect with our inner world. For instance, when you're caught in a whirlwind of deadlines and obligations, taking even 10 minutes to sit quietly can help you regain perspective and focus. One simple yet effective exercise is to go for a solo walk, leaving your phone behind. As you move, let your mind wander freely. Notice the thoughts that arise without judgment or resistance. This practice isn't about solving problems or making decisions. It's about giving yourself the gift of stillness, a chance to listen to your own inner voice. So take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you spent meaningful time alone? How might embracing solitude help you navigate life's challenges with greater calm and clarity? By making space for solitude, you're not retreating from the world, you're returning to it with a renewed sense of purpose and peace. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. It's not about excusing someone else's actions. It's about releasing the emotional weight of resentment that keeps us anchored to the past. The Stoics understood this deeply, emphasizing that holding on to grudges only harms us, not the person we're upset with. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea when he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, responding to harm with anger or bitterness only perpetuates negativity, while forgiveness allows us to rise above it. Imagine a falling out with a close friend. Perhaps harsh words were exchanged and the relationship feels strained. Holding onto that resentment might feel justified, but it also keeps you tied to the pain of the experience. Forgiving them doesn't mean pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means choosing to let go of the emotional baggage so you can move forward with peace. This doesn't always require a grand gesture or even reconciliation. Sometimes forgiveness is simply an internal act of releasing the hold that anger has on you. So take a moment to reflect. Is there someone in your life, a friend, family member, or even yourself, that you need to forgive? Consider the freedom that comes with releasing that burden. Forgiveness isn't just an act of kindness to others, it's a step toward reclaiming your own emotional well-being and clarity. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. This powerful Stoic idea reminds us that bravery isn't about never feeling afraid, it's about acting despite the fear. The Stoics believed that courage is one of the 4 cardinal virtues, essential for living a life of integrity and purpose. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most eloquent voices, put it this way: sometimes even to live is an act of courage. This isn't just about grand, heroic acts. It's about the everyday choices that push us out of our comfort zones. Think about the last time you had to speak up in a meeting. Maybe you disagreed with a popular opinion or raised an uncomfortable truth. In those moments, fear might have whispered doubts in your ear, but acting anyway, that's where courage lies. Each time you face fear head-on, you're not just overcoming a challenge, you're building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Courage fosters growth because it forces us to confront the unknown and expand our boundaries. So take a moment to reflect. What's one fear that's been holding you back? Whether it's asking for a raise, starting a new project, or simply being honest with someone you care about. Remember that courage isn't about eliminating fear, it's about refusing to let fear dictate your choices. Every step you take in the face of fear is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. Balance is the key to lasting happiness. The Stoics understood that excess, whether it's in work, pleasure, or even ambition, often leads to stress, burnout, and imbalance. They championed moderation as a way to cultivate a stable, fulfilling life. Epictetus put it bluntly, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Overindulgence in anything, be it food, entertainment, or even social media, not only clouds our judgment but also detaches us from what truly matters. When we practice moderation, we create space for clarity, health, and a deeper appreciation of life's simple joys. One practical step to start is limiting screen time. Instead of endlessly scrolling, set specific times to disconnect and focus on activities that nourish your mind and body, like reading, exercising, or spending quality time with loved ones. These small adjustments can have a profound impact on your well-being, helping you feel more grounded and present. So, take a moment to reflect, where in your life could you benefit from practicing moderation? Maybe it's cutting back on caffeine, reducing work hours, or even setting boundaries with toxic relationships. Moderation isn't about depriving yourself, it's about creating harmony in your life so you can thrive without being weighed down by excess. Resisting change only brings suffering. This is a truth the Stoics understood deeply, and one that can transform how we navigate life's many transitions. Change is not just a part of life, it is life. Everything around us, from our careers to our relationships, is in a constant state of flux. The key to thriving isn't in trying to stop the waves of change, it's in learning to ride them. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, everything is ephemeral, both what remembers and what is remembered. This profound idea reminds us that nothing lasts forever, and clinging to what's already past only creates unnecessary pain. Picture a career transition, for instance. Losing a job or shifting industries can feel overwhelming, even frightening. But when we embrace the impermanence of our circumstances, we open ourselves to new opportunities and growth. Instead of mourning what's lost, we can focus on what's possible. Adaptability isn't just about surviving change, it's about thriving because of it. It's about seeing each twist and turn as a chance to learn, evolve, and create something new. So take a moment to reflect. How do you usually respond to change? Do you resist it, or do you see it as an opportunity? Shifting your mindset in this way can empower you to face life's uncertainties with greater confidence and resilience. Embracing change isn't about giving up control, it's about discovering the strength to move forward no matter what life throws your way. Generosity enriches the giver as much as the receiver. This is a truth the Stoics held dear, recognizing that acts of kindness not only benefit those who receive them but also transform the one who gives. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most insightful voices, captured this beautifully when he said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Generosity isn't about grand gestures or material wealth, it's about the intention behind the act, the willingness to give freely without expecting anything in return. When we give, we connect with others on a deeper level, fostering a sense of belonging and purpose that goes beyond our own needs. Think about the last time you helped someone, whether it was a friend, a stranger, or even yourself. How did it make you feel? Generosity taps into something fundamental within us, reminding us that we're part of something larger than ourselves. To practice this Stoic value, start small. Volunteer your time at a local shelter, offer a listening ear to a friend in need, or simply share a kind word with someone who looks like they could use it. These acts might seem minor, but their impact can ripple far beyond the moment. So, take a moment to reflect. How can you bring more generosity into your daily life? The more you give, the more you'll discover that the true reward isn't in what you receive, it's in the joy of giving itself. True wisdom is knowing what truly matters. In the Stoic view, wisdom isn't just about accumulating information, it's about discerning what's essential and aligning your actions with those principles. The pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong journey, one that requires curiosity, reflection, and a willingness to learn. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most practical teachers, emphasized this when he said, "Only the educated are free." This isn't just about formal education, it's about cultivating the kind of understanding that helps us navigate life's complexities with clarity and purpose. When we prioritize wisdom, we're better equipped to make decisions that align with our values and long-term goals, rather than being swayed by fleeting emotions or external pressures. Think about the last time you faced a tough choice. Did you act impulsively, or did you take the time to reflect and seek guidance? Seeking advice from a mentor, for instance, is a powerful way to gain perspective and sharpen your judgment. Mentors don't just offer knowledge, they share the kind of wisdom that comes from experience, helping us see beyond our immediate circumstances. So, take a moment to reflect. Who are the people or sources that shape your understanding of the world? Whether it's through books, conversations, or life lessons, each moment of learning adds to your reservoir of wisdom, empowering you to live with greater intention and clarity. A true worth comes from within, not from others' opinions. This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a powerful reminder that self-validation is far more important than external recognition. The Stoics believed that seeking approval from others is a slippery slope. It ties your sense of self-worth to something outside your control, leaving you vulnerable to disappointment and anxiety. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most famous practitioners, put it succinctly, "Fame is ephemeral, it's here one moment and gone the next." When we chase after praise or recognition, we're chasing something that's inherently unstable, something that can vanish as quickly as it appears. Detachment from praise doesn't mean rejecting compliments or ignoring feedback. It means not letting those external judgments define you. For instance, imagine you receive glowing praise for a project you've worked on. While it's natural to feel good about it, the Stoic approach would be to appreciate the moment without becoming dependent on it. Why? Because if your self-esteem hinges on that praise, what happens when the compliments stop? Practicing detachment from praise allows you to maintain a steady sense of self-worth, grounded in your own values and efforts rather than the opinions of others. So, take a moment to reflect. How often do you seek approval from those around you? Could you find greater peace by focusing on your own internal standards? This isn't about dismissing praise, it's about freeing yourself from the need for it, so you can live with greater confidence and calm. Silence is the space where clarity grows. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, moments of quiet often feel like a luxury we can't afford. But the Stoics saw silence as essential, a vital practice for cultivating emotional balance and inner peace. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most eloquent voices, once wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Silence provides the stillness we need to reflect on our direction, to reconnect with our values, and to recharge our minds. It's not just the absence of noise, it's an opportunity to listen to ourselves and to the world around us. When we embrace silence, we create a buffer against the chaos of daily life, allowing us to respond to challenges with greater calm and intention. One practical way to incorporate this into your routine is through silent meditation. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a difference. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Let the stillness settle over you like a gentle wave, quieting the mental chatter and bringing you back to the present moment. Another simple exercise is mindful walking. Step outside, leave your phone behind, and let your senses take in the world without distraction. These practices may seem small, but their impact can be profound. So take a moment to reflect. How much noise fills your day, and how might creating space for silence help you find balance? Silence isn't just about retreating from the world. It's about returning to it with a clearer mind and a steadier heart. Self-reflection is the mirror to the soul, a practice that the Stoics considered essential for personal growth and emotional mastery. Through the act of looking inward, we gain clarity about our thoughts, actions, and motivations, allowing us to align more closely with our values and aspirations. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most influential teachers, emphasized this when he said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Self-reflection is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. By regularly examining your day, you can identify patterns, celebrate progress, and learn from missteps. For instance, taking just 5 minutes before bed to ask yourself, what went well today and what could I have handled differently, can be transformative. This simple habit not only enhances self-awareness but also helps you approach tomorrow with greater intention and focus. It's not about dwelling on mistakes or indulging in guilt, it's about learning and growing. So take a moment to reflect. How often do you pause to examine your day? Could cultivating this practice help you move closer to becoming the person you aspire to be? Self-reflection is more than a habit, it's a tool for continuous improvement, a way to ensure that your actions align with your deepest principles and goals. Resilience is built through challenges, not comfort. This Stoic truth reminds us that true strength isn't forged in moments of ease but in the fires of adversity. The Stoics believed that hardship is not something to avoid but something to embrace, as it shapes our character and prepares us for the inevitable ups and downs of life. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most profound thinkers, put it this way: difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Just as physical exercise builds muscle, enduring challenges builds resilience, equipping us to handle future obstacles with greater confidence and composure. Think about a time when you faced a significant setback, perhaps a failed project, a rejection, or a personal loss. It might have felt overwhelming in the moment, but looking back, you'll likely see how it taught you something valuable. Maybe it showed you your own strength, forced you to adapt, or revealed new paths you hadn't considered. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning to rise each time you fall. So take a moment to reflect. How have past challenges shaped the person you are today? Recognizing your own capacity for resilience can empower you to face future difficulties with a sense of purpose and determination. Each obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever life brings next. Words have the power to heal or harm, a truth the Stoics understood deeply. They believed that speech is not just a tool for communication but a reflection of our inner character and values. When we speak carelessly, we risk causing unnecessary pain or conflict. When we speak mindfully, we create connection and understanding. Marcus Aurelius put it this way: what injures the hive injures the bee. In other words, careless words don't just hurt others, they also harm our own sense of integrity and peace. Practicing mindful speech means choosing our words with intention, ensuring they align with our principles and contribute to harmony rather than discord. For example, in a heated argument, it's easy to lash out with harsh words, but pausing to gather your thoughts can transform the conversation. A simple moment of reflection allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. One practical step to cultivate this habit is the 3-second pause. Before speaking, take a brief moment to consider whether your words are true, kind, and necessary. This small act can prevent misunderstandings and foster more meaningful interactions. So, take a moment to reflect. How often do you pause before speaking? And could this practice help you navigate conversations with greater care? Mindful speech isn't about perfection. It's about striving to communicate in a way that uplifts and connects, creating a ripple effect of understanding and respect in your relationships. Minimalism is the art of focusing on what truly matters. In a world cluttered with endless distractions and possessions, the Stoic practice of living with less offers a path to clarity and peace. The Stoics believed that excess, whether in material goods, commitments, or even thoughts, only weighs us down, pulling us away from what's essential. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most compelling voices, put it this way: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This isn't about deprivation or austerity, it's about intentionality. When we strip away the unnecessary, we create space for what truly adds value to our lives. Think about your workspace, for example. A cluttered desk can make even simple tasks feel overwhelming, while a clean, organized space allows you to focus and think clearly. The same principle applies to our broader lives. Every possession, every obligation, every distraction demands our attention and energy. By letting go of what we don't truly need, we free ourselves to invest more fully in what matters most. So take a moment to reflect. What's one thing in your life, a possession, a habit, or even a thought, that you could let go of today? Simplifying isn't just about creating physical space. It's about reclaiming mental clarity and rediscovering the joy of living with purpose. By embracing minimalism, you're not just decluttering your surroundings, you're creating the conditions for a richer, more meaningful life. Gratitude in adversity transforms pain into growth. It might sound counterintuitive, but the Stoics believed that even in the darkest moments, there's always something to be thankful for. This practice isn't about denying hardship, it's about reframing it, finding the silver lining that helps us move forward with strength and purpose. Epictetus offered this insight: if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. In other words, it's not the event itself that defines how we feel, but the perspective we choose to take. When we actively seek gratitude, we shift our focus from what's been lost to what's still present, from what's gone wrong to what's been learned. Think about a time when you made a significant mistake. At first, it might have felt like a failure, but looking back, didn't it teach you something valuable? Maybe it revealed a blind spot, pushed you to work harder, or helped you approach similar situations with greater care. These lessons are gifts, even if they come wrapped in difficulty. So take a moment to reflect. What's one recent challenge you faced, and what can you find to be grateful for within it? It might be a new skill you gained, a relationship that deepened, or simply the realization that you're stronger than you thought. Practicing gratitude in adversity doesn't erase the pain. It transforms it into a stepping stone for growth, helping you build resilience and find meaning in every experience. A true connection happens in the present moment. In a world filled with distractions, smartphones, endless to-do lists, and the constant pull of our own thoughts, being fully present with others can feel like a rare gift. Yet, this is where meaningful relationships are built. The Stoics understood that presence isn't just about physical proximity. It's about giving your undivided attention, showing others that they matter. Marcus Aurelius offered this timeless reminder: whatever anyone does or says, I must be good, just as if the emerald were always saying, whatever anyone does or says, I must be emerald and keep my color. In other words, no matter what's happening around you, your capacity to be present and attentive is a choice that defines the quality of your interactions. When you're fully engaged in a conversation, you're not just hearing words, you're connecting on a deeper level, understanding emotions and building trust. To practice this, try active listening. Next time someone speaks, resist the urge to plan your response or let your mind wander. Instead, focus entirely on their words, tone, and body language. Reflect back what you've heard to show you're truly engaged. It's a small shift, but it can transform the way you relate to others. So, take a moment to reflect. How often are you fully present in your conversations? Could giving someone your complete attention today make a difference in your relationship? Presence isn't just a gift to others, it's a practice that enriches your own life, creating moments of genuine connection that leave a lasting impact. A true wealth is measured by the soul, not the wallet. This Stoic principle reminds us that our value doesn't lie in what we own, but in who we are. The pursuit of material possessions can often feel like a never-ending race, one that leaves us exhausted and unfulfilled. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most profound voices, captured this beautifully when he wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." In other words, the relentless desire for more money, more things, more status only deepens our sense of lack. When we practice detachment from material wealth, we shift our focus from accumulation to contentment. This doesn't mean living in poverty or rejecting the comforts of life. It means recognizing that possessions are tools, not the source of our happiness. For example, downsizing your home might initially feel like a step backward, but it can also create space both physically and mentally for what truly matters: relationships, creativity, and peace of mind. When we're not tied to the weight of our belongings, we're free to live more intentionally. So take a moment to reflect. What's your relationship with money and possessions? Do they bring you joy or do they weigh you down? By valuing inner riches, your character, your values, your relationships, you're not just freeing yourself from materialism, you're discovering a deeper, more enduring kind of wealth. The present is all we truly have, a truth the Stoics emphasized as the key to a fulfilling and peaceful life. While it's easy to get caught up in regrets about the past or worries about the future, the Stoics remind us that the only moment we can truly act in is the here and now. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most practical teachers, said it plainly: the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This isn't just about the people around us, it's about the mindset we bring to each moment. When we focus on the present, we reduce the mental clutter that fuels anxiety and stress. Think about it. How often do we allow our minds to wander into imagined scenarios or replay past mistakes? This mental wandering not only distracts us but also robs us of the joy and clarity that come from being fully engaged in the present. To cultivate this mindset, try a simple exercise like mindful breathing. Sit quietly, close your eyes and focus on your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to drift, gently guide it back to your breath. This practice trains your brain to stay anchored in the moment, building a habit of presence that can transform how you experience daily life. So take a moment to reflect. How often are you truly present in your day-to-day activities? Could embracing the present moment help you find greater calm and connection in your life? It's not about ignoring the past or future. It's about giving your full attention to where you are right now, creating a foundation for clarity and peace. Attachment breeds suffering. Letting go brings peace. This timeless Stoic principle reminds us that clinging too tightly to people, possessions, or outcomes often leads to unnecessary pain and frustration. The Stoics believed that everything in life is temporary: our relationships, our material goods, even our circumstances, and that resisting this truth only creates inner turmoil. Marcus Aurelius offered this wisdom: everything is ephemeral, both what remembers and what is remembered. By practicing non-attachment, we're not rejecting the things we care about. We're simply acknowledging their impermanence and finding peace in that acceptance. Think about a grudge you've been holding onto. Maybe someone wronged you and the anger still lingers. Holding onto that resentment doesn't hurt the other person. It weighs you down, keeping you tethered to the past. When you choose to let go, you're not excusing the action. You're freeing yourself from its emotional hold. Non-attachment fosters emotional freedom because it allows us to experience life fully without being controlled by our desires or fears. So take a moment to reflect. What are you holding onto that might be better released? It could be a possession you're obsessed with, a relationship you're clinging to, or even a specific outcome you're fixated on. By loosening your grip, you create space for greater peace, resilience, and joy. Non-attachment isn't about indifference. It's about embracing life's ebb and flow with grace and openness. Inner stillness is the foundation of peace, a truth the Stoics understood deeply. No matter how chaotic the world around us may seem, we always have the ability to find calm within ourselves. This isn't about escaping life's challenges. It's about creating a mental sanctuary where we can retreat, recharge, and face difficulties with clarity and composure. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most insightful voices, captured this idea when he wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Inner stillness allows us to do just that, to fully inhabit the present moment, free from the noise of worry or regret. When we cultivate this practice, we reduce stress, improve focus, and create a sense of balance that permeates every aspect of our lives. One simple yet effective way to start is through deep breathing. Take a few minutes each day to sit quietly, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and let the rhythm of your breathing anchor you in the present. This exercise doesn't just calm your mind, it reminds you that peace is always within reach, no matter what's happening around you. So take a moment to reflect. How often do you feel truly calm? And what could you do to invite more inner stillness into your daily routine? By nurturing this quiet space within, you're not just managing stress, you're building a reservoir of strength and serenity that empowers you to face life's challenges with grace and resilience. What we consume shapes who we become. This isn't just about food or drink, it's about the information, media, and ideas we allow into our minds. The Stoics understood the profound impact of our choices on our mental and emotional well-being, urging us to be deliberate about what we take in. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most practical teachers, put it this way: the chief task in life is simply this, to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. In other words, discernment is key. When we consume mindlessly, we clutter our minds with distractions, leaving little room for clarity and focus. But when we choose carefully, we create a mental environment that supports growth and peace. Consider social media, for instance. Scrolling endlessly through feeds might feel harmless, but over time, it can leave us feeling drained, anxious, and disconnected. By setting boundaries, whether it's limiting screen time or curating the accounts we follow, we reclaim control over our mental space. This practice isn't about cutting out entertainment or avoiding the world. It's about ensuring that what we consume aligns with our values and goals. So take a moment to reflect. What are you consuming regularly, and how does it affect your mind and mood? Could being more intentional about your choices help you cultivate greater clarity and calm? Mindful consumption isn't just a habit. It's a way of safeguarding your inner peace and shaping the person you aspire to be. life flows more smoothly when we work with, not against, nature. This is the essence of the Stoic principle of embracing the natural order, a practice that invites us to align with the rhythms and cycles of the world around us. The Stoics believed that much of our stress and frustration comes from resisting what's natural, whether it's the changing seasons, the passage of time, or even our own emotions. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he wrote, "Everything is interwoven and the web is sacred. Nothing happens to one thing without affecting the others." In other words, nature operates as an interconnected system, and our happiness depends on our willingness to flow with it rather than fight against it. Think about the seasons. Winter brings cold and stillness. Summer offers warmth and abundance. Each phase has its purpose, and each teaches us something valuable. When we align with these cycles, we move through life with greater ease, accepting what we can't change and finding beauty in the process. One practical way to practice this is by observing nature's patterns. Take time to notice the changing seasons, the rising and setting of the sun, or even the small rhythms of your own body, when you're most alert, when you need rest. These observations can help you sync with the natural world, reducing resistance and creating a sense of harmony. So take a moment to reflect. How aligned are you with nature's rhythms? Are there areas of your life where you're pushing against what's natural? Embracing the natural order isn't about passivity. It's about finding strength in surrender, learning to move with the current rather than struggling against it. When we align with nature, we not only reduce unnecessary friction, but also discover a deeper sense of peace and purpose in the flow of life. Emotions are visitors. We decide how long they stay. This Stoic perspective invites us to see our feelings not as permanent states, but as temporary experiences that we can observe and manage. For the Stoics, emotional regulation wasn't about suppressing or ignoring what we feel. It was about understanding our emotions so we could respond to them with wisdom and clarity. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most profound thinkers, put it this way: "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This simple yet powerful advice encourages us to pause before reacting, giving ourselves the space to choose how we engage with our emotions rather than being swept away by them. For instance, think about a moment when you felt angry. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic or criticized your work. In that moment, the initial impulse might be to lash out, but what happens if you take a deep breath and step back? By delaying your response, you create an opportunity to consider the situation more objectively, responding in a way that aligns with your values rather than your immediate feelings. Emotional regulation fosters balance because it allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with steadiness and grace. It's not about eliminating emotions, it's about learning to coexist with them in a way that serves us rather than controls us. So take a moment to reflect. How do you typically handle strong emotions like anger, frustration, or even joy? Are there patterns you'd like to change? By practicing emotional regulation, you're not just managing your feelings, you're reclaiming your power to respond to life with intention and calm. Authenticity is the path to inner peace. When we live in alignment with our true selves, we create a foundation of harmony and fulfillment that transcends external validation. The Stoics understood deeply that genuine happiness comes from staying true to our nature, not from conforming to societal expectations or chasing fleeting approval. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most profound teachers, put it this way: "What is the first business of one who practices philosophy? To get rid of self-conceit. For it is impossible for anyone to begin to learn that which he thinks he already knows." In other words, authenticity requires humility, a willingness to shed the masks we wear and embrace who we truly are. It's about living in a way that honors our deepest values rather than the roles we're expected to play. For instance, think about the parts of your life where you might feel the most pressure to perform: work, relationships, or social settings. Are you showing up as your authentic self, or are you unconsciously trying to meet others' expectations? One practical way to cultivate authenticity is through journaling. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on your core values. Write down what truly matters to you and ask yourself whether your actions align with those principles. This simple exercise can help you identify areas where you might be compromising your truth and guide you toward living with greater integrity. So, take a moment to reflect. How authentic do you feel in your daily life? Are there ways you can step more fully into your true self? By embracing authenticity, you're not just fostering inner peace, you're building a life that feels deeply meaningful and true to who you are. Perfection is an illusion, acceptance is freedom. This Stoic principle reminds us that striving for flawlessness only leads to frustration and self-criticism. In a world that often demands perfection, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal goals, embracing imperfection becomes a radical act of self-compassion. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest minds, offered this insight: everything is born from change and nothing is perfect for long. These words invite us to see imperfection not as a failure but as an inherent part of life, a natural, even beautiful aspect of being human. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we free ourselves from the weight of unrealistic expectations, allowing us to focus on progress rather than perfection. Think about the last time you made a mistake. Maybe you stumbled during a presentation or missed an important deadline. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, what if you chose to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow? This shift in perspective doesn't just reduce self-criticism, it fosters resilience, helping us bounce back with greater strength and clarity. So, take a moment to reflect. How often do you hold yourself to impossible standards? And what might change if you embraced your imperfections? Practicing acceptance isn't about settling for less. It's about recognizing that growth and imperfection are inseparable, creating space for a more compassionate and fulfilling journey. The unknown is not to be feared but explored. This Stoic principle invites us to see uncertainty not as a threat but as a canvas for growth and discovery. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable, filled with twists and turns we can't always anticipate. The Stoics believed that instead of resisting this unpredictability, we should embrace it as an opportunity to cultivate resilience and adaptability. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most eloquent voices, captured this beautifully when he said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." In other words, our hesitation often amplifies our fear of the unknown, but stepping into it with curiosity can transform it into a source of strength. Think about starting a new project or taking on a new role. At first, the lack of clarity might feel overwhelming, but as you dive in, you begin to uncover skills, insights, and possibilities you didn't know you had. This process of exploration fosters flexibility, helping you navigate future uncertainties with greater confidence. So, take a moment to reflect. How do you typically respond to the unknown? Do you shy away from it, or do you approach it with curiosity? Embracing uncertainty isn't about eliminating fear. It's about learning to move forward despite it, using it as a catalyst for growth. When we shift our mindset in this way, the unknown becomes less of an obstacle and more of an adventure, a chance to expand our horizons and discover what we're truly capable of. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when viewed with gratitude. This simple yet profound truth lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy, reminding us that joy isn't found in grand achievements or rare moments. It's woven into the fabric of everyday life. When we pause to appreciate the small, often overlooked details, we uncover a wellspring of contentment and peace. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most practical teachers, captured this beautifully when he said, He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This isn't just about feeling thankful, it's about training our minds to see value in what's already here, right in front of us. Think about the last time you savored a meal. Did you fully appreciate the flavors, the textures, the effort that went into preparing it? Or were you distracted, rushing through it without truly experiencing it? Practicing gratitude for the ordinary transforms these moments into something extraordinary, enriching our daily lives in ways we might not expect. One simple exercise is to take a few minutes each day to focus on something you usually take for granted. A warm cup of coffee, the sound of birdsong, or even the steady rhythm of your breath. By giving these moments your full attention, you're not just noticing them, you're celebrating them. So take a moment to reflect. What ordinary moments bring you joy, and how might you deepen your appreciation for them? This practice doesn't just foster contentment, it reshapes how you experience the world, turning the mundane into the magical. Inner strength is the anchor in life's storms, a steady force that keeps us grounded even when the winds of difficulty blow fiercely. For the Stoics, this strength isn't about physical power or external validation. It's about cultivating resilience and fortitude from within, so we can face challenges with composure and clarity. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most revered figures, put it this way: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This wisdom reminds us that while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. Inner strength isn't about never feeling fear or doubt. It's about finding the courage to move forward despite them. Picture a time when you faced a significant challenge, maybe a health scare, a career setback, or a personal loss. In those moments, your inner strength likely surfaced, helping you endure and adapt. Perhaps you discovered a deeper well of resilience than you knew you had, or maybe you found new ways to problem solve and persevere. These experiences shape us, revealing the power we carry within. So take a moment to reflect. When have you tapped into your own inner strength, and how did it transform your experience of the challenge? Building this kind of resilience isn't about becoming invincible. It's about knowing that no matter what life throws your way, you have the capacity to rise, adapt, and grow. Inner strength isn't a gift, it's a practice, one that deepens with every storm you weather. Every decision shapes the person we become, an idea that lies at the heart of mindful decision-making. For the Stoics, every choice was an opportunity to align with their values and live with intention, rather than reacting impulsively to external pressures. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most insightful voices, emphasized this when he said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." This isn't just about the people we surround ourselves with. It's about the choices we make and their impact on our character and growth. When we approach decisions mindfully, we reduce the likelihood of regret because we're acting from a place of clarity and purpose, not haste or fear. Take choosing a career path, for example. It's easy to be swayed by societal expectations, financial pressures, or the fear of failure. But when we pause to reflect, asking ourselves what truly matters to us, what we're passionate about, and how our choices align with our long-term goals, we're more likely to make decisions that feel authentic and fulfilling. Mindful decision-making isn't about perfection. It's about taking the time to weigh options, consider consequences, and act in ways that honor our deeper principles. So think about your own decision-making process. Do you tend to act impulsively, or do you give yourself the space to reflect? By practicing mindfulness in our choices, we're not just shaping our future, we're cultivating a life of intention, one decision at a time. The journey itself is the reward. This Stoic perspective shifts our focus from the end goal to the steps we take along the way, reminding us that life is a process, not a destination. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from embracing each moment, learning from the path we're on, and finding meaning in the process itself. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most practical teachers, put it this way: "The wise man is always content with his present lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." These words invite us to see the present as more than just a stepping stone. It's where life actually happens. When we adopt this mindset, we develop patience and appreciation because we're no longer fixated on the future or clinging to the past. Instead, we're fully engaged with where we are right now. One practical way to cultivate this approach is by setting incremental goals. Instead of focusing solely on the final outcome, break your aspirations into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small, because they're all part of the journey. For instance, if you're working toward a fitness goal, acknowledge the progress you make each week, whether it's running an extra mile or lifting a slightly heavier weight. These small victories not only keep you motivated, but also help you savor the process rather than rushing to the finish line. So take a moment to reflect. How do you approach your own journey? Are you so focused on the destination that you overlook the steps along the way? By embracing the journey, you're not just moving toward your goals, you're finding joy and meaning in the path itself, transforming how you experience every moment of your life. Others' opinions are not a measure of your worth. This Stoic principle encourages us to detach from the judgments of those around us, recognizing that the value they assign to us, whether positive or negative, doesn't define who we are. The Stoics understood that seeking approval from others is a losing game, one that leaves us vulnerable to their whims and opinions. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most profound thinkers, put it this way: "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." These words remind us that while it's natural to want acceptance, prioritizing others' opinions over our own self-worth only erodes our confidence and peace of mind. Practicing detachment from opinion fosters self-assurance because it shifts our focus inward, helping us build a stronger sense of self rooted in our own values and truths. For instance, imagine making a decision that aligns with your principles but goes against the grain, like choosing a less conventional career path or standing up for an unpopular belief. In those moments when criticism might arise, detachment allows you to stay grounded, knowing that your choices reflect who you are, not what others expect. This isn't about ignoring feedback or dismissing other perspectives. It's about not letting external judgments dictate your sense of self. So take a moment to reflect. How much weight do you give to others' opinions, and how might detaching from them help you live with greater authenticity and confidence? This practice isn't just about self-protection, it's about reclaiming your power to define your own worth, free from the noise of outside voices. Joy is often found in the smallest of moments: a quiet sunrise, a shared laugh, or the warmth of a cup of tea. The Stoics believed that true happiness doesn't come from accumulating possessions or chasing grand achievements. It's rooted in embracing life's simple pleasures. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most eloquent voices, captured this beautifully when he said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This isn't about rejecting ambition or success. It's about recognizing that contentment is already within our grasp, waiting to be discovered in the everyday. When we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, we create a foundation of gratitude that amplifies our sense of joy. Imagine stepping outside on a crisp morning, feeling the cool air on your skin and hearing the rustle of leaves in the wind. These moments, though fleeting, can leave a lasting impression if we allow ourselves to fully experience them. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is by spending time in nature. Whether it's a walk in the park, tending to a garden, or simply sitting under a tree, These activities ground us in the present, reminding us of the beauty in simplicity. Another exercise is to keep a joy journal. Each day, write down 3 small things that brought you happiness: a kind word, a favorite song, or even a delicious meal. Over time, this practice trains your mind to notice and appreciate the abundance of joy that's already present in your life. So, take a moment to reflect. What are the simple pleasures that light up your day? By savoring these moments, you're not just cultivating joy, you're reshaping how you experience the world, finding richness in the ordinary and peace in the present. Accepting mortality is the key to a meaningful life. It might sound counterintuitive, but the Stoics believed that by confronting the inevitability of death, we can live with greater purpose, urgency, and gratitude. This practice, known as memento mori, remembering that we must die, isn't about dwelling on the end of life. It's about using that awareness to focus on what truly matters. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most profound teachers, put it this way: "It's not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." When we acknowledge our limited time, it strips away the trivial distractions and compels us to prioritize what's most important. Think about your relationships. How often do you tell the people you love how much they mean to you? If you knew your time with them was limited, would you hold back, or would you express your feelings more openly? This mindset fosters urgency because it reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have. It also cultivates gratitude as we begin to appreciate the people and experiences that enrich our lives, recognizing their value more deeply. So, take a moment to reflect. If you learned your time was shorter than expected, how would you spend it? What would you prioritize, and what would you let go of? Practicing acceptance of mortality isn't about fear. It's about living with intention, ensuring that when the time comes, you can look back on a life well lived, one filled with meaning, connection, and purpose. Empathy bridges the gap between hearts, a practice that deepens our connections and enriches our shared humanity. The Stoics, often misunderstood as emotionally detached, actually placed great value on understanding and sharing the feelings of others. For them, empathy wasn't just a moral obligation, it was a pathway to wisdom and harmony. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most revered figures, reminded us of this when he wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." These words invite us to see ourselves as part of a larger whole, where the well-being of others is inseparable from our own. When we cultivate empathy, we're not just tuning into someone else's emotions, we're fostering a sense of unity that transcends differences. Think about a recent conversation where you truly felt heard. Maybe it was a friend sharing a struggle or a colleague expressing frustration. In those moments when you listened without judgment and responded with understanding, didn't it create a deeper bond? Empathy has that power. It transforms interactions into connections, building trust and mutual respect. One practical way to practice this is through active listening. Next time someone speaks, focus entirely on their words, tone, and body language. Resist the urge to formulate your response or interrupt. Instead, reflect back what you've heard to show you're truly engaged. This small shift can have a profound impact, not just on the speaker, but on your own ability to connect. So, take a moment to reflect. How empathetic are you in your daily interactions? Could you bring more active listening and understanding into your conversations? Empathy isn't just a skill, it's a way of being, a choice to see the world through another's eyes and find common ground in shared experiences. When we embrace this practice, we're not just enriching our relationships, we're creating a ripple effect of compassion that touches everyone we encounter. Letting go is the path to freedom, a principle that lies at the heart of Stoic wisdom, teaching us to release what no longer serves us in order to live more fully. The Stoics understood that clinging to the past, to unhealthy relationships, or to material possessions only weighs us down. preventing us from experiencing the peace and clarity that come with detachment. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most profound voices, put it this way: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This insight reminds us that true wealth isn't about accumulating more. It's about letting go of what holds us back. When we release what no longer serves us, whether it's a grudge, a toxic relationship, or an outdated belief, we create space for new growth and possibilities. For instance, ending a toxic relationship might feel difficult in the moment, but it ultimately frees us from emotional drain and opens the door to healthier connections. Letting go fosters emotional liberation because it allows us to move forward unburdened, ready to embrace what truly matters. So take a moment to reflect. What are you holding onto that might be better released? It could be a past mistake, a lingering resentment, or even a habit that no longer aligns with your values. The act of letting go isn't about forgetting or denying. It's about choosing to release what no longer serves your well-being. By practicing this Stoic principle, you're not just decluttering your life, you're reclaiming your inner freedom, creating space for peace, growth, and the joy of living authentically. Over the course of this journey, we've explored 50 powerful Stoic strategies, each designed to help you master your mind and emotions. From resilience in the face of adversity to the deep contentment found in gratitude, these principles are timeless tools for navigating life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Together, they form a roadmap to inner peace, guiding us to focus on what truly matters and let go of what we cannot control. Resilience teaches us to adapt, presence reminds us to live fully in the moment, and gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to the abundance already within our grasp. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical steps you can take to transform your daily life and cultivate a sense of calm amidst chaos. Marcus Aurelius summed it up perfectly: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Keep these words close as you move forward, a reminder of the inner resources you already possess. Now, take a moment to reflect. Which of these strategies resonates with you most? Is it practicing gratitude, embracing presence, or building resilience? Choose one to implement today, and let it be the first step toward a more centered and fulfilling life. If you found this exploration of Stoic wisdom valuable, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how these strategies are shaping your journey. And if you're hungry for more insights, consider subscribing for deeper dives into the timeless principles that can help us all live with greater intention and peace. Remember, the power to transform your life lies within you, one mindful choice at a time.